Oh, blurry start. So, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long break. Let's put it that way. Let's switch over to my other hand because this new camera is a little bit of a strange one. Yeah, I kind of went silent on the channel for a bit because lost interest. Didn't really fancy doing any content in the workshop, etc., etc. But I thought, you know what? Maybe we should revive the channel. And yeah, I thought what better not to start than with my new, this camera is very odd. There we go. What better not to start with my new project. So what I thought I'd do is, it's a little bit of a late start. I should have really started this when the car arrived, but it is what it is. So I'm going to give you a quick run through of what's been done so far, where I kind of stand with it, and then and what the plans are. So let me try and turn this camera around. There we go. So, Mk5 GTi, non-edition 30, so it's the normal 200 PS version. I bought the car as a non-runner. So we've got a cracked turbo housing. You can't really see too well, but there's a big crack around this turbo housing, very common on these. You might be able to see it there actually. See it just underneath the wastegate penny. I've got an injector missing. There's some wiring harness damage from where a mouse has got in there and chewed it up. And then obviously the guy that bought the car, he took all the front end off. He bought it as like a donor car. So it came with no fenders, no front panel, no cooling pack, no bumper. Well, actually it's a lie. Bumper's up there. But yeah, so that's kind of where the reason I got it cheap. Mk5 platform has always taken my fancy. It's a little bit of a strange platform to start with this day and age because they're normally quite rusty by now. Normally quite not in the best of shape, let's say. So yeah, not much surface rust in the engine bay. So we've got, I can't really get round too easily. I should have thought about this. Yeah, there's a little bit of surface rust here and there on the crash bar. Other than that, the engine bay is pretty clean. All the turrets are pretty clean. Scuttle panel's all clean. I cleaned it all out already. So, but all of this is going to get rubbed down, wire brushed, sorted out. Yeah, all the subframe mounts as well. They're only spot welded in from factory. So then all of the subframe mounting points are all going to be seam welded and what have you. So, yeah. Let's put that back down. So, inside the car, let's probably get around this side. It's all stripped already, as you can see. The firewall's out. That's my new firewall. I've already got that. Everything's loose. Steering column can be easily disconnected. This dash bar is going to come out, but yeah, it's all loose in there at the moment. So, sound deadening is all out. All the glue and nasty crap has all come off the roof already. I started cutting out all of these pieces, ready for the roll cage. It's going to be going to Stahlus Rennsport Selling for the cage. So Marcus is going to do us a nice cage. I'm probably going to go down and give him a hand, to be fair, to get it done quick. But yeah, all of the supports needed to come out so that we could get a nice clean pickup point on the rear top mounts. It just makes life easier, so we can cut a hole in the top and then put a dome straight through on top of where the strut's going to mount, because it is going to be coil over rear. So yeah, all the factory doors are in at the moment. I've got some nice fiberglass doors. All a bit of a mess in here at the moment. Fiberglass doors are going to be going back on. Get rid of these heavy stock doors. Obviously don't need all the reinforcement in the doors because of the roll cage. Manual gearbox as well. So man spec. DSG on this model is not the best. That's why I went for a manual. In the end, we'll probably end up running a sequential or something anyway. So that's all the bits I've chopped out. Wiring harness inside the car. That's all started to be chopped about. Started cutting all the radio wiring and stuff out. It's all a bit of a mess in the box at the moment. Maybe a video on that later once I get it all out and start cutting some more down. So spare wheel well is going to be cut out as well. Just need to mark up a few spots here because there's a plate here that runs up. So I need to mark it, drill it, cut it out. Yeah, so at the moment, it's a bit of a mess. Cutting out all the brackets and loose stuff for the cage this week. The final plan is basically full cage. It's going to have some JRZ suspension. We're going to have to custom make it because we're going to be running, well, I'm going to be running, I keep saying we. I'm going to be running the Vertline, the full kit, so tubular subframes, front and rear, all the adjustable arms, everything basically to convert it all the way from this horrible subframe, bump steer correction, etc., etc. But we'll get more in detail in that when I order the kit and it arrives. Wheels and brakes will be StopTech front, stock rear, because obviously the handbrake is integrated in the caliper. The wheels will be a ProTrack 1, so I can probably flash a little picture up now to show. I've already test fitted the brakes and the wheels just to make sure I've got clearance and stuff. Not sure on offset and spacing yet because the body kit that's going on is not going to be stock. It's the British touring car kit. So I will, again, flash a picture across the screen now because, yeah, that's it's a pretty nice kit, to be honest. It was all influenced from that British touring car. So it's, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool car. So hopefully we'll get somewhere along the same lines as that, handling wise and everything. What else have we got? Dashboard. We're going to try and wrap it ourselves, me and Chris. I don't know how well that's going to go in Alcantara doing it ourselves, but what's the worst that can happen? I end up having to peel it off, is what it is. So yeah, that's the plan for that's the plan for the dashboard. It will have original dash, original clocks, original center console. I'm going to do some trick things with the center console regarding the air conditioning because I am keeping aircon, and the fiberglass doors don't need perspex windows, so I'm going to be putting the glass windows back in with some nice UV tint so I can keep all the temperatures down, which is mega. So yeah, that's the kind of rundown of it. There's so much to do. You kind of forget when you're building the car what's what, but that's kind of the first little recap as such, or however you want to say when we're starting. So going to be doing everything myself. So there's no, when I come to paint it, we're going to be taking it to Nuno's shop. Nuno's got a booth, so we'll be doing that there. The engine bay, the stone chip underneath, all of the seam sealing, the painting inside. I'm going to paint outside apex. I'm going to just buy a massive like tarpaulin or something to cover the floor and stuff, and then we'll give it a go here. I mean, just have to pick a day where it's not windy, so overspray's not everywhere, but it is what it is. Yeah, try and cut the cost down a little bit because it's, believe it or not, the last 2 years I haven't driven my own car on track. I've done, that's a lie, I've done 2 laps in the last 2 years in my own car. So I kind of had enough of not being able to drive. This is the reason why this build is now underway. I plan to have it on the road by May next year. That's kind of the aim, along with Robert's E46. At the moment, we're struggling to find a paint shop to get that painted, but yeah, the plan is to have them both done in May, and then any small things that need doing, we'll do them along the way. It doesn't really matter too much, but the main car, drive-in, insured, everything ready to go in May. Future plans, it depends what I get done now and what I can afford to get done now, because this is essentially a budget build. Not too much of a budget build, but trying to call in as many favours as I can to get it done, because like I say, living at the North life and not driving your own car is literal hell. So yeah, I'm not going to bore you for any longer. I've been rambling for 9.5 minutes anyway, so we'll have some recaps. I'll get another video, a couple of videos when the car goes for the cage, and yeah, some updates and stuff as they happen. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This could be the revival of the channel, so like, subscribe, all that jazz, you know the deal. But cool, laters.